For those of you that have always been curious about the ins and outs of getting a nose job, get professional insights from this week's episode of Harley Street Beauty. If you only have one day to improve your smile, worry not, because it's now possible. Check out the feature on one-day dental veneers and see if you are a candidate for this dramatic transformative procedure.
And the process involves basically using a special camera which shines blue light onto the tooth, and that blue light is reflected back into the camera, and that produces a 3D image on a computer screen. And this will then allow me to design the veneer or the crown or whatever I've decided to design on the tooth to give that tooth its correct shape. The process then goes on to a milling stage. Once I've designed it, I choose a colour for the patient's teeth, which often have multiple colours in that porcelain block, and this porcelain block is put into a milling machine. It's got a wireless connection between this acquisition unit and the milling machine, and we put a block in there, it mills it out of the block and then produces this amazingly beautiful veneer or crown. Once we have the restoration back, I then will stain and glaze that restoration to really give a bespoke crown for the patient or veneer for the patient. This is then put in an oven and baked, just like you would do with pottery, to a glaze. And I then would bond it onto the patient's tooth in a very careful way to make sure that the veneer or crown will chemically adhere to the underlying tooth structure. The fit of them are exquisite. They fit perfectly, around about between 20 and 40 micron fit, which is incredibly accurate. This gives a very, very strong end restoration. With a smile and a day, it's a phenomenal service to be able to provide for people.
In this episode of Surf Chronicles, we take a look back at all the drama, heroics and magical moments that made up the ASP World Tour season. In a battle for this unbelievable 10th world title, Kelly Slater went toe-to-toe with young progressive Jordy Smith in a battle for global supremacy.
The sixth stop of the tour, the Cobblestone Point of Trestles, located in Orange County, California, comes to life. Much is made about the race between Slater and Smith, but ultimately Slater wins the event and regains the world #1 ranking. 18 years after winning his first event as a professional surfer at this exact spot, a 10th world title is starting to take shape.
I don't think many people get the opportunity to win 10 titles, and obviously I have that chance, so if I can pull it off, I'll think about what that means.
Smith puts in an impressive performance, keeping his name in the world title race.
I'm just out there having fun. I don't really care about the title race too much or anything. I mean, if it happens, that'll be great, but there's so much more to life than just world titles and everything like that.
When Kelly Slater and Jordy Smith meet in the final, tensions are high.
If you missed Dubai Yoga Music Festival, then you can have your daily yoga fix without leaving the comforts of your living room. Tune in to Yoga Today and challenge yourself performing a unique yoga class every morning.
We're practicing at Walton Ranch in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And joining us today is Jen Fox, a Jackson Hole native.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
As well as Kim, who is visiting from Colorado.
Thanks, I'm happy to be here.
So we're going to begin today's class in Sankatasana. I'd like for you to come forward onto your left hip and thigh, and then grab your right foot with your right hand and spin your right heel to your outer left hip. And then just lift your left hip for a moment and really tuck the top of your left foot to the the top of your right foot to your outer left hip, and then ground both of your sitting bones equally into the floor. Take your right hand to your right knee, your left hand to your left, and press. And then take your left hand to your right knee, your right hand to your left, and pull. Now, if this isn't appropriate for you today, you can find a block or a bolster or a blanket and put it under your seat to help make this a little bit more comfortable.
I'm Amy, and I'll see you next time.